tracks today.
Yeah. I need them bands, run it up fast, stuffing them shits in the safe. Got me a spot out the way, nigga just tryna be safe. Leaving the house with the glizzy, nigga.
Let's get into the sports talk about the NCAA making up a new rule.
Start with you. Obviously, as a former college athlete, what's your biggest problem with the NCAA's new agent rule?
You know what's crazy is it's actually believable. It's one of the worst businesses in the world, the way that they treat what they've now called in this new rule, the athlete-client. It's not an athlete-client. All before, it was just a student-athlete. So you should not be representing them in any form of business that comes after going to school and playing for the universities they attend. And if you look at this, this is flagrant and it's blatant in response to the way that Rich Paul, his clients, and the other athletes that he is involved in have really taken control of their careers and taken that control away from NBA owners, right? And NBA as an organization as a whole. What this has shown and what Rich Paul has shown that the same way that these owners and that the other people make their way in life through connections, through relationships, through aligning yourself with the right people and having the proper life experiences, which is the way they got rich, right? The way they got to be in meetings that other people couldn't be in, that now it's not okay because Rich Paul is...
They made this rule up because they felt like Rich Paul is taking their business. He's not taking your business. These athletes don't want to just go to school for the full 4 years. They want to be able to make it to the league, live their dream, and be able to take care of their family in the long run. So NCAA felt like Rich Paul is butting in their business and hurting their pockets when the NCAA don't care about none of these athletes. They just care what the money they bring in for them. They make a lot of money off these freshmen and don't care about them. Off their jersey sales and everything. And why these student athletes struggling. Any of these kids in the schools struggling. Why the NCAA getting rich off of them? Why would they want to stay in a place where they struggling? Trying to get their way to school, get away through college. They struggling. So take that 1 year and go to the league. And Rich Paul teaching them that. And they don't like it. So they made up a rule for him. For anybody that's an agent. Now they just using their power. They don't care about none of these athletes. They just care about what the money they bring in for them.
It's not okay because LeBron James is a part of it. And the NCAA has no right in its misguided attempts to say that they're protecting the player and protecting the student to affect the way that they do business once they leave that school.
First of all, it's, LeBron tweets out the Rich Paul rule, and people are noticing, hey, some of these qualifications would preclude Rich Paul from doing it, so therefore the Rich Paul rule. But in fact, Rich Paul doesn't actually traffic in the kind of stuff that the school addresses, right? Hey, whatever. And maybe the rule people can say with the best of intentions, right? If the intentions are pure, at least consciously or superficially. We want to protect players from, relatives, who don't know what they're doing, representing them. Although Kawhi Leonard's uncle seems to have done a very good job. My point is this. Who the hell is the NCAA to tell anyone who they can deputize to represent their interests? Of all the condescending, paternalist, but especially controlling nonsense, this is an organization that has behaved despicably.
They ain't doing nothing but making millions of dollars off of all these players that come in. All these new freshers that come in and making money off of them. How the hell you gonna tell a dang agent that he can't represent them or stop him for doing that? Teaching them the ropes about the NCAA. NCAA don't care. Whatever you could bring in, that's all they care about. They don't care if you get hurt. As long as you know that paycheck coming in for them, they making plenty of money every time the athletes do something. If you're a top player, they gonna make plenty of money off of you. They don't care. They don't care if you worry about leaving and going to the NBA to help your family out. They don't care as long as you bring that money in. They feel like you in the middle of their money that's coming in. You hurting their pockets. Look what they doing. They gonna make up a rule. They get ridiculous what they doing. Don't care about what's going on with these athletes and nothing. Force you to do something that you don't want to do.
Constantly through the years, as it relates to their attitude toward the athletes, they need to protect this veneer of amateurism because that's what they're selling back to you. Right? This is not the best leagues below the NBA in the world or anything like that. They're selling, but it's more popular than like the G League or the D League or whatever name it happens to go by at the moment because of the veneer of amateurism, right? And therefore you can connect it to the tradition and have some kind of sense, at least superficially, that it's purer than professional sports. It's utter nonsense. Look, once people are interested in amateurism or college basketball, fine. But once you point a camera at it and you start selling advertising and we get paid to talk about it and the school makes money and everyone that advertises, everyone's making money, but the students are getting paid, that's just exploitation of labor, period. That's all it is. And the NCAA has always...
Like, how are you going to be a top athlete that comes to these colleges and you can't make a penny off of your name? It's your name. You putting that work in, not the NCAA. They putting that work in. You need to start paying these players until that year or before they go to the league to help them through that whole year. But no, they can't make nothing off their own name, and they the ones are the top players that coming in helping these schools win championships. They can't make nothing. These coaches making plenty off of them and everything.
Organization that I don't know really if we need it to exist anymore or if we ever really did need it to exist, to tell you the truth, should be really looking at their long-term horizons and saying, hey, we're facing an existential crisis. When enough people wake up and realize, they don't really need us, we're not going to exist anymore. Let's get out ahead of this. Instead, they're going backwards and they're trying to double down and entrench whatever kind of control they have.
How about it only applies to basketball players?
And then there is...
Okay, the predominantly black sport.
No doubt, Molly, I was getting to that. And then there is the obvious racial component to this. It only applies to basketball, and why is that? Why do they think they can get away with that, or even in that?
It applies because Rich Paul is a black agent, black business owner, teaching these athletes what is everything about around them. And then they seeing you making a lot of money off of that, they gonna find a way to try to stop you. They ain't wanna see you keep growing and growing like this. All because of the color of your skin. They wanna stop you wherever you doing. They feel like you doing too much and they feel like they need to stop this, so let's make a rule up.
Area dictating who you can say that person represents me. And then this list of qualifications, which Rich Paul wouldn't qualify for right now. But how is he done? As not that he traffics in what this rule covers, but if someone did who had Rich Paul's background, does that mean they wouldn't be a good representative? No. How many better representatives are there?
How many more life lessons? I have a master's degree. How many more life lessons did you learn outside of school?
Then they keep saying you need a degree. How he need a degree when he running a good business and getting the top players good contracts for themselves to set them up for the long run? Now they say he need a degree. They ain't need no degree. They just don't like what you doing. They feel like you hurting their pockets. They don't care. They just making up anything to make up a rule to stop you from what you doing.
Other part of it when it comes to the racial part is not just about the people who will be represented. It's about the people representing them. It's about the way that looks. And when you go to the qualifications, it does go to the next generation of Rich Pauls, the guy that's coming up through the ranks and understands that life experiences and connections and relationships can better help me in advising these guys, in mentoring these guys, and representing these guys than going to school. And so when you see that, though, it's the NCAA trying to keep institutional control over these young men. And they've done this.
See what I'm saying? They feel like they're losing control now. They have to find a way to get that control back. Let's sit back and just make up a rule then. To get our control back and keep our money rolling in for ourselves. They don't care about these athletes. They want to control them. Make money off of their names.
Without wanting to pay players, without allowing players to have control of their own likeness and make money off of that. And this is just another misguided attempt to show you that the separation of ownership and labor in this is a large gap. It is huge. You will not take control of your own being.
Also, is the NCAA's argument here, or the reasoning behind this stupid new rule, is it even, we believe we're putting rules in place that will that will make sure that the kind of the efficacy, the effectiveness of the representative will go up for the students? Since when are they worried about the students' financial interests?
Yes.
And why is that their business to worry about the students' financial interests?
And of all the rules to worry, the things they need to change and work on, why was this the focus?
But the point is, the NCAA keeps insisting that there needs to be amateurism. They shouldn't be professionals, that this is student athletics, even though you can play in the school band and still cut a record deal, right? But okay, but they keep insisting on that. In that case, why is it their damn business who the athlete chooses to represent their professional interests? The whole thing is hypocritical and absurd. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download